Hi everyone, Tracy here from 2B's Craft and welcome to today's Creative Crafty Catch-Up. Today we're going to make a simple card using our scoring tool to create a textured background. So let's get started. So for our card we've got three main pieces. Our base card, half A4, 21 by 14.85, folded in half. My layer is also going to be white, 14.4 by 10.1, and my top layer also white, 14 by 9.7. So we take this piece, bring in your scoring tool. I'm using a Stampin' Up scoring board, but you can use whatever scoring tool you have. I'm going to create some lines, evenly spaced. I'm doing it on the right hand side because I'm going to flip it. About 7 or 8 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do 7 lines. Okay. And when you flip it over, you can see the embossed side. You could use the other side if you feel you like that better, but I'm going to use this side. So that's our base of our card. Today I'm going to use the Daffodil Daydream. I'm going to use this image of the daffodil and I'm going to stamp that in Memento Black onto a piece of scrap card. I'll just ink up the stamp really nicely and stamp straight down and up. Now I've got a little bit of extra ink there, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to be cutting it out. So these dies, this stamp set comes with dies, which we will look at here. And this image is cut out using this die. So we'll bring in our big shot, place down the card, place the die around the image, and we're going to cut that out. And there we have our image. Now from here, I'm going to colour it in using Stampin' Up blends. I've got Lemon Lolly and Granny Apple Green. I'm going to start with the lighter colour and basically go all over the daffodil. We're going to get the darker colour and add some shading. I just want the centre of that and along some of these lines. We go back in with our light and just blend that in. To give it a bit of shading. I'll then come in with my Granny Apple Green, light colour. Onto the leaves.
And a stalk.
Bring in the dark to add some shading. Wherever you feel it might need a little bit. And then back over with the light just to blend that in so it's not so harsh.
Now forget that top bit.
Okay. This is going to be our focal point for our card, and that's going to sit on top of the embossed area just to give it a bit of feature. Now, I'm going to make this a Mother's Day card, so I'm going to grab the Mother's Day stamp from the set, mount that on a block, grab my black ink, ink it up, and I might stamp it kind of in the middle, straight down, straight up. Now this is starting to come together. Now, clean and simple cards generally have a lot of white space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this piece on top of a white. There's only 2mm border all the way around, and then put that one on top of the card. It just gives it also a little bit more dimension around the edges. So we'll get some glue and just glue it up. You could use dimensionals if you chose. My glue's not working. There we go. And then just place that around with an even border. There we go. Okay, so that's our first layer. With our daffodil, I am going to use some dimensionals. So I'll just get some of these off of the sheet and pop those onto the back of our image. There we go. Take off the backing. And place that where you like, slightly. I think I'll put that about there. Now for this one, I think I will raise this one on dimensionals to give it a little bit more height as well. So I'll just grab some of these, put them in the corners, and probably a couple in the middle. And then take off their backing. Take our base card and place that with an even border all the way around. From there, we can add some bling. So I've got some pearls here, which I think will go nicely with the white. Alright, so I'm just going to separate some of them so I can pick them up individually. And then just randomly place a few onto the card to give it that little bit extra. Just filling in some of that white space, but not too much. Now from there you could add a bow if you like. Stamp the inside. We might stamp the inside with, this has got a lovely butterfly image. So we will take that, some black ink, and just pop that in the corner. Don't forget your envelope. Might use the butterfly again. Make sure it's in the right corner. Okay, and then we can just add a little bit of colour to the butterfly. The darker around the edge there, and then bring the light into the middle.
go.
Okay, there we have a simple Mother's Day card using the scoreboard to give it some dimension and a little bit of texture at the back. Now, I've got a couple of other cards to show you where I've done the scoring in the middle of the card there, and this one here I did it across the middle in the different direction and just added a couple of bling around the edges, your focal point on the scoring area. I used the deckled rectangles for this one. This one was the You Snailed It by Stampin' Up. So you could use any image that you like and just make that the focal point. A couple of other options that I was just playing around with. You could make yourself a border and then do an image in the middle or words. This one I used diagonal. I made it a bit of a cross. What I could see in that was the Scottish flag. So I got a piece of starry sky as a base card there. And what I'll do is I'll get a layer or even just put it straight down there. And going through my stash of die cuts as you do, I have a little Scotty dog. So I thought he would look quite cute in the centre. Okay, so we've got our Scotty dog. We're going to add a little bow to his collar. So I've got some twine here and I'll just make a little bow, not too big because he's quite small. We'll cut that off. Okay, probably a wee bit big. There we go. Then we'd add that to his collar there, probably using a glue dot. I could add another layer like we did before. And then we could bring in some bling and just put some random bling around. And maybe do a sentiment in this bottom section. So what we might do is have a look, what have I got? This is the stamp set. So we might use, You Are Always Loved. There we go. So we'll just mount that on a block. Get some black memento, ink that up, and I'll put that in that bottom section there. So from there I would add that to the layer, add our little Scotty dog with his bow, and there you have it using diagonals as a background. So using your scoreboard, you can make lots of different imagery for the background. Don't forget you can use it both directions, whether it's embossed or debossed. So share your cards with me and let's see how you go. See you next time. Thanks for coming along.